From WKRG News 5, the Gulf Coast news leader in high definition. The news starts now.
First on 5, Alabama now has what is considered to be the toughest immigration law in the country. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Mel Showers.
And I'm Roseanne Haven. A historic day in Montgomery. After mulling over the controversial immigration bill for a week, Governor Robert Bentley signed it into law.
The bill will allow police to arrest anyone suspected of being an illegal immigrant during a traffic stop. That part of the law mirrors Arizona's controversial immigration law, which is still being fought in court a year after it passed. Employers with state contracts must use E-Verify to determine if workers are legal. The law even makes it a crime to knowingly give an illegal immigrant a ride. Governor Bentley said this law is something he campaigned for.
I am proud of what the legislature has done. They have worked hard. They have passed a good bill. They worked together. They compromised. They brought their bills together. And I believe now that we have the strongest immigration bill in the country.
The provisions of the law take effect September 1st. Right now, state agencies are scrambling to figure out what the law means for them.
News 5's Jessica Taloni joins us now live in the studio with more on that. Jessica?
Well, we've talked to law enforcement today and we've talked to schools today, and all say they are still waiting to see what their role will be in this law. But here's what we do know. Even under the new law, children will not be turned away from public grade schools based on their citizenship. But schools may still be required to verify that citizenship. We've contacted the State Department of Education and the governor's office to find out how that information will be used, and we are still waiting on an answer. Now, as for businesses, it is now a crime to hire an illegal immigrant, and companies who do business with the state will be required to check a person's immigration status using the federal E-Verify system. As for law enforcement, police will be authorized to arrest someone who they cannot prove are here legally. And if you're caught giving an illegal immigrant a ride, you can be arrested too.
Well, now we have a legal right, if you will, a criminal arrest can take place where if we determine someone is an illegal immigrant here in the state of Alabama, we can arrest them for a criminal offense.
And the criminal offense is trespassing.
Well, now in the state of Alabama, you have to be an illegal immigrant in the state of Alabama, or there's an additional charge at play here that certainly is too early to tell, and that is if a U.S. citizen is transporting an illegal immigrant, they themselves face arrest for doing so if they knowingly are doing so.
Alabama's law is being called the toughest in the country. Still, illegal immigrants will continue to have access to certain things here, including emergency medical treatment, soup kitchens, immunizations, and prenatal care. And as I mentioned moments ago, public grade schools. Roseanne?
Thanks, Jessica. About 20 states have taken up legislation on immigration, but it all started with Arizona. When it passed in April of 2010, Arizona's was considered the toughest in the country. However, the courts blocked a provision in the law that would allow police to check immigration status. But the Supreme Court endorsed a separate law that would require employers to use E-Verify in March of this year. The court also said Arizona could suspend or revoke business licenses of those companies who knowingly hire illegal immigrants.
Arizona has reportedly lost millions of dollars in tourism and convention business because of boycotts since the law was passed. However, Alabama could lose much more. According to the Immigration Policy Center, if illegal immigrants are pulled out of Alabama, the state would lose about $2.6 billion in economic activity, about $1.1 billion in gross state product, and almost 18,000 jobs. It is estimated that about 5% of the state's workforce is unverified.
The immigration bill could have a huge impact on Alabama's agriculture industry. Thousands of workers and millions of dollars gone. News 5's Debbie Williams picks up our team coverage from the Baldwin County beat. She joins us now live from the Baldwin County newsroom with more. Debbie?
$63 million is the figure that Alabama Farmers Federation estimates will be the impact on the agriculture in the state. They say while migrant workers aren't used as much as they used to be, they are still an important part of Alabama's farming community.
Gathering the things we like for our dinner table is hot, hard work.
And the Alabama Farmers Federation opposed some parts of this law to protect farmers. But now they say their focus will be to educate farmers to make sure they comply with the new law. Live on the Baldwin County beat, Debbie Williams, News 5.
And thank you, Debbie. Immigration rights advocates have fought tooth and nail to make sure that tougher laws are struck down. They believe the tougher laws are a violation of human rights. So far, groups have sued the states of Arizona, Utah, Indiana, and Georgia to block the stricter measures. And now they have their sights set on Alabama.
The ACLU and other civil rights groups say they'll file a lawsuit challenging the constitutionality of Alabama's new immigration law. In a statement from the ACLU of Alabama, Executive Director Olivia Turner says this law undermines core American values of fairness and equality, subjecting both citizens and non-citizens to unlawful racial profiling, and does nothing to ensure the safety and economic security of Alabama. The lawsuits are expected to be filed before the law goes into effect in September. Despite the controversy over the law, many Americans support legislation like Alabama's new law. According to a recent Rasmussen poll, 67% of likely voters believe officers should check immigration status in traffic stops. Another poll shows 61% of people would support a law similar to Alabama and Arizona's in their own state. But we want to know what you think. News 5 viewers have posted more than 130 comments on our Facebook fan page. The reaction has been mixed. Susan Payton writes, "Even though I support the bill, I can tell Dr. Bentley is going to have a fight on his hands." Jane Kennedy says the best thing will be making businesses responsible for checking the status of potential hires, but be prepared to pay more for produce and construction. Ashley Knowles writes, "If you are in this country legally, you should have no problem showing ID to prove this." And Megan Newsom says this is a sad moment for Alabama. This is not a bill to be the leader on. Do you think that the immigration law is constitutional? We want to hear your side of this story. You can post your comment on our Facebook fan page. If you're not already a fan, go to Facebook, search WKRG and click like at the top of the page.